Hey guys, it's Shawn, the host of the Webtalk Legends Podcast. Man, I'm a little choked up, ready to rock and roll today. This is number 78, and I am all about providing value. And each and every guest that comes on is going to share their story. You're going to listen. You're going to hopefully take some notes or mental notes. You're going to engage. You're going to actually implement some of the ideas, the strategies, and tips that we talk about during our conversation. These are things that people have gone through, trials and tribulations that you can learn and actually not have to go through down that path. Now, the benefit is you are here. This is free for you. We want you to do a couple things. Housekeeping. The least you can do is hit that subscribe button, then hit that like button, and then don't forget at the end, hit the share button. Now, those that like to engage, like to really help us out, the algorithm loves comments. The least you can do is drop a hashtag live if you're watching this live, hashtag replay. And if you want, please drop a comment. Where are you watching us from? Because this is a global. We are having a massive reach, and we want to help as many people as possible. Sit back, enjoy. Let me bring on my next guest. What's up, Kevin? How are you?
What's going on, Shawn? Thank you for having me, buddy.
Oh, anytime, brother. This is going to be a lot of fun. I want to, always keep that in mind as far as providing massive value. And I know you do that. I know we're going to bring it today. Before we get into it, Kev, who are you and what do you do?
So I am, I guess, a serial entrepreneur. My background was in real estate investing. I started investing when I was 24 years old. And then I parlayed that into eventually owning my own brokerage and had multiple franchises through the last 15 years. Right now, like a couple of the things that I'm really focused on, probably two main things. I moved to Florida not too long ago, and there's a ton of new construction going on where I'm at. There's over 133 different new development projects going on within an hour of me.
Wow.
So one of the cool things I'm doing now is I started an Instagram page at New Construction Home Zone, where basically I just go around. I love houses, right? It's always been, kind of my thing. And I go around and I take really cool videos of all these new construction homes, anywhere from a $300,000 home to a $6 million home. Right. And I just like to put that stuff out there for people to, go check out what's going on in the Sarasota area. And so that's one of the main things. And then just a couple of weeks ago, I actually bought a franchise in the banking industry that is basically, it's an FDIC Visa debit card that allows people to stretch their every dollar they spend, actually double every dollar they spend. So, most people that have a debit card don't get any kind of rewards. And this particular debit card gives you actually dollar for dollar match. And then you can take those reward points onto their online store that is very similar to Amazon, and you can buy all kinds of items on there, including vacation packages, cruises, flights, plus any everyday items, glasses, hats, like anything you can find on Amazon is basically on this store. So you can use those credits to purchase stuff on their online store. It's an awesome concept.
Oh, that sounds incredible. And for those that are popping in, we already have someone from Morocco. Thanks so much for joining us. We are going to, again, I want to remind everyone, Kevin has all his details in the description after this live. Definitely reach out, take a look at what he's doing, because we're going to go into more detail on, a few of these platforms as well. But I want to remind people, always look at the description on a YouTube video, because all the details are inside that area. But before, you said you were a serial entrepreneur. Who were you back when you first started in school? Were you somebody that, was into multiple jobs? Did you have a 9-to-5 before you became an entrepreneur?
Yeah. So out of high school, I was actually recruited to play football in college. But I didn't love school, the structure of school. And at the time, I was a bit of a maniac. So I did a lot of partying, and I kind of knew intuitively, if I go to school, I'm probably going to wind up wasting this money. So I went to work instead. And it's funny, my dad actually gave me, when I graduated, he gave me 3 options. Well, I guess 4. So he said, if you want to stay living here, you either got to join the services, go to college, or get a job. The 4th option was get out. Right. So, I went and got a job, and I started working, and, I kind of quickly, I always had an entrepreneurial mindset. It's probably why I wasn't the best student, because I didn't fit into the traditional box, right? I wasn't a terrible student because I always had to keep my grades at least so I could be eligible to play sports, right?
Right. Yeah.
So thank God for sports, because if it wasn't for that, I probably would have failed. You know what I mean? So, and then, so what I quickly kind of learned was, and I had some pretty good jobs, but what I kind of learned was, you know what? I'm busting my ass 40, 60 hours a week, and I'm making somebody else wealthy. They're sitting on the beach, or they're, doing whatever while I'm here, hustling. So I decided, if I'm going to work this hard, I might as well go into business for myself and work this hard for me, right? And build my own wealth. So that's kind of what led me, kind of to real estate. So God kind of really actually led me to real estate. I've had a lot of failures, right? So it's funny. One of the things I was going to say to you today was like, which one of my failures would you like to discuss today? Right? Because I can come on here and talk about my successes, but I don't know how much that really going to help anybody, right? But
I'm glad you said that, because that's so true. Everyone likes to see on social media all the success, all the cars, all the houses, all the girls, all the partying. But the shit that hit the fan when things didn't go right for you is what we need to hear. So I would love to hear. Give me at least one of those failures for now, man.
So when I was young, I guess I'll kind of tell a story how I got into real estate. So, I'm going to get a drink of water real quick.
Yeah. Always having that water for our health, man. We always have that water.
I was, like I said, I was a little bit of a maniac. I partied a lot when I was younger. I was selling drugs, doing drugs, all that kind of crazy stuff as a young kid. And my best friend died when we were 24. And that really totally changed my perspective on life, and really made me reevaluate what I was doing, where I was. And shortly thereafter, my grandfather passed away. And he was, probably my hero growing up, right? So within a 6-month period, I lost my best friend, soul brother, and my grandfather. I was in a bad spot. And I was in a job that I knew I didn't like, but I didn't know what to do about it. So I was in a real bad spot, and I prayed to God for an answer, and I got a sign, and it basically said, get into real estate. And it was a Carlton Sheets. If anybody remembers the Carlton Sheets infomercial, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I literally was praying, and as I was praying, that info commercial came on. And everything just kind of clicked inside my head. I picked up the phone. I ordered right away to coaching. Within 6 months, I bought my first property. Within a year, I quit my job. At that time, I had a union operating engineer job, was making good money. But like I said, I knew that it's not what I wanted to do. So, and then I took the leap of becoming a full-time real estate investor. And then became top producer, then opened up my own brokerage, and kind of went from there. But that was probably my first big change in life, was going through that, having those 2 tragic losses within a short period of time.
No, I appreciate you sharing that with us and being fully transparent. What were some ways that you were able to deal with that? You have your best friend, your grandfather. Yes, you were praying, but there's on a day-to-day, what are some things that you were doing to help you continue going to the next day, to keep going, keep pushing? Some people don't realize, like, this is a struggle. It's tragic, like you said, all in a short period of time. people sometimes just give up and they start drinking. They might do some drugs, etc. Where did you have any outlets, or was
Well,
that?
I was doing both of those things. Right.
How'd you get from not getting out away from those as well?
Honestly, it was. I said it may sound hokey or whatever, but God answered my prayers, right? And for a long time, I wouldn't talk about it, and I was even kind of after I had moments where I still doubted God, and I wouldn't really speak upon it. And then I had triplets, and they were born at 29 weeks, so super early. I mean, they literally fit in the palm of my hand.
Yeah,
right? And they were in incubators and the whole deal. And basically, the doctors were like, maybe 30% chance they're going to live. If they do live, they're going to have all these problems. Because they were so premature and had all collapsed lungs, brain bleeds, like all these, issues. And, again, I prayed and God answered my prayers. And those kids today, nothing wrong with them. 20 years old, normal. You wouldn't know that they were born 29 weeks and went through all the things they went through. And, at that time, I basically promised God, if you spare them, and let them survive,
right.
I will forever, share my testimony, right? And so, but it took me a long time to even go from there to where I am today, where I'm actually willing to share.
Well, I think you found your whys and your daughters, right? You have triplets or
All boys.
All boys. They all helped you shape who you were in the future, because now you have something to live for. When you have to take care of another human being and keep them alive, because tell me about this. I have 4 kids myself, all at different times though. When you're in the hospital, when they're born, you can go, oh, the nurse will take them away. You can get a little time to yourself. You can do your thing. But the first day you come home, that's the scariest. So talk about that first day with all 3 of the boys, man.
Well, so remember, they were born so premature that they didn't even come home. My first son, there's 3 of them. So, and they didn't come home all at once. They came home in stages because they all were going through different medical issues. So, but the earliest was 3 months. It was 3 months, 5 months. Well, once some of them come home, it was like 6 months. So, and then at one point we had 1 home, 2 not home. Then we had 2 home, 1 not home. Right. So we were trying to balance taking care of the 1, 2 we had at home, and then still trying to go to see the others that were still in the hospital. So
besides having jobs.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, for a long time, like that whole, man, my ex-wife's pregnancy, like, was really, really tough. She was on bed rest for a long time, like, was such a strong woman, but at a certain point, they were literally sucking the life out of her. So they had to deliver. Otherwise, they all were going to, not make it. Mm-hmm. But dealing with all that, I almost blocked it out for years, right? Because the mindset we were in was just, people say to me, how did you do it? I go, I don't know. You just do.
It's survival. Right? Yeah.
You do. Yeah. You're kind of in survival mode, and you're doing what you got to do. Right. Like I was, hey, this is what God gave me, and I got to do what I got to do to put food on the table, and, and all that. And, crazy enough, my crazy, self decided that was the best time to go start a real estate brokerage, right? 3 kids, three hungry kids at home, you know what I mean? And I'm going to be out trying to start a business from scratch.
That's like lights the fire in you. You have to provide, and that will really forces you, motivates you to keep going.
Yeah, no doubt.
I love that background you got there. Tell me about that.
Appreciate that. So I can't remember exactly where I first saw it, but when I did, I just, that's pretty sums up my attitude, for life. so many people are living an average life below what they're capable of,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and it's one of the things why I wound up coaching sports. One, to give back because it did so much for my life. But as a coach, and you know this as a coach too,
Yep.
right? Part of our job is to help people reach their potential, and a lot of people don't realize they have more potential in them than they realize. So that's, I guess, basically where that's at. Like we all have the opportunity to live a legendary life, whatever that may mean to you, right? And so I just try to encourage people as much as I can to do that, right? Live your best life every day, whatever that means to you.
And pushing your envelope, become more comfortable being uncomfortable.
That's
Doing things that you normally wouldn't want to do, and you put yourself out there for that. And it's important to do that and share that. My little lady, my daughter came down, Olivia. You want to say hi?
Hi.
You want to come
Hi,
up here real
Olivia.
quick? She always makes, one of them always tries to make an appearance. Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi.
Hi, Olivia.
Olivia. This is the almost 3-year-old, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely
My home.
we're at our house, right? Why
Yeah.
don't you go play?
No.
You want to sit here and listen? All right, that's fine. Yeah, it's important that we, are comfortable being uncomfortable, doing things that others don't want to do. Because if you do the same thing others are doing, you're never going to go and become successful because you're going to do the same as an average person would do.
Right. Yeah. It's funny. It's funny you said that. It was one of the things that I was thinking of mentioning today is, get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? Like, when I got divorced, one of the things I did, I moved 1,000 miles away. I'm originally from outside of Philadelphia, and I now live in, Bradenton, Florida, right outside of Sarasota. And but that was a big, life change. You know what I mean? Approaching 50 years old, and I picked up and moved to a whole new city, and it was scary. But now that I've done it, man, I wish I did it 20 years ago.
People say, "Oh, I don't know anyone if I go there, or there's no things for me." You have to think outside the box, start new, start fresh. It's a great opportunity if you don't have anything to move on and do it, make it happen. Because if you can make it happen there, you can make it happen anywhere, right?
Yeah, and like, I've always had like that sales entrepreneurial background, right? So to me, it's like it was an opportunity. I looked at it as an opportunity to grow, right? And an opportunity to expand my network, meet new people, right? Instead of being in that box of where I was, right? It's one of the things that when I exited the last brokerage franchise that I owned, was because of the people that approached me and that I knew I was going to be surrounded by, and the way their minds, it really helped me believe what was possible. That you don't have to just stay in the area that you're in to be able to do business. Like traditionally in the real estate business and in most businesses, they tell you, it's localized, right? Be local,
Right.
and that's actually an average mindset, believe it or not, right? That's what most average agents do, but the average agent only sells 4 houses a year. Why would you want to be average? 4 houses a year ain't going to pay your bills, right?
No.
So you have to, be willing to be uncomfortable and get comfortable being uncomfortable and putting yourself in situations that force you to grow.
You have to. And you have mentors. You have people, or they could be live. They could be people you actually meet. Some people you might read in books and listen and learn about what they're doing from their past. But it's all about, having that correct mindset, being able to grow, having that growth mindset, living in abundance instead of a limited mindset. A lot of people think, they can't do something, certain things. But if you change your mind and look at what Kevin has and use that as a mantra or an affirmation every single day, saying that to yourself, how you're going to go about your day, you're definitely going to take on the masses with the right mindset, right mentality. So it's definitely key. Now with franchises, there's some limitations in franchises because you have to follow their guidelines, right?
Yeah, there are guidelines, and you're usually also limited in location, right?
Hmm.
So, you know, you only can grow, or only do you operate your business in the area that the franchise dictates, that you can operate in. Um, and that was one of the things, like, that I saw when I saw, you know, the opportunity for where I'm hanging my license at now. That was one of the big things. I was like, wait a minute, you know, one, I'm not going to have to deal with the brain damage anymore and have the liability anymore that I had of having, almost 100 agents and 3 offices and, all the headaches that comes with. Even though there's a nice financial upside and creating leverage, it comes with a lot of baggage,
Right.
and you're restricted by the franchise. So if I wanted to bring somebody on into my company, but they were in another state, well, there was no actually way for me to be able to do that unless I bought a franchise
Right.
in that area,
Right.
right? Which is a huge, capital investment, right? Where this new opportunity was, there are no borders, there are no boundaries. It's not a franchise. You come here, you're basically going to have all the upside opportunity and without any of the negative baggage that would normally come along with it. So, and I was at a point in my life where my ego was removed, which is a big thing. A lot of people's ego stops them from becoming legendary. Like their ego, they can't, you can't teach me something new. I'm already killing it, right? That type of mindset really holds you back. If you don't have I like to say, like, I like to try to keep the gate of my mind open to all opportunities all the time, as long as it's something that meets my interest wheelhouse. Right? If it's something
Right.
I'm interested in, I'm usually going to be listening, be willing to hear you out, at the very least.
No, I like that. Yeah, you definitely have to be willing to learn new things on a consistent basis for you to continue to grow. And like you said, a lot of people think they get complacent. They know everything they need to know instead of actually focusing on what they can do on to take it to the next level.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, no doubt. And like you use the word like complacent and comfort level, right? That's why we're saying, hey, get uncomfortable, get comfortable being uncomfortable. That comfort level and that complacency, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, you add some ego, like, man, that's the devil. Um, you need to overcome that and try to grow past that somehow. And that held me back. Like, that's what cost me my marriage. You know what I mean? Like there's like I said, I've had a lot of failures, right? That helped me get to where I am now, where I'm more comfortable now talking about a lot of these things that happened to me in my past, where I wasn't necessarily willing to be so open in the past. Um, it just really, that complacency and comfort level, cost me a lot.
a lot of people, and I appreciate you saying that. A lot of guys don't want to share what has happened in their past because it's a sign of vulnerable. You're vulnerable, right? You're putting yourself out there, but it's important that we're all going through things, no matter what. And guys got to stick together. We got to be there for each other. And
No
yes,
doubt.
there's times that we go through. Like I had my daughter had a liver transplant. I went through a divorce myself. So there's things that we all have some commonalities that we can share and talk through and find out how can we help those others that are just starting to go through certain things. And that's where the power is, as far as not being afraid to share. That's a powerful thing. And here's a question for you. You're a serial entrepreneur. You're working, you're making that money, you're doing what you love. Do you take time to, go on vacation, to rest, to recuperate, or is it always work, work, work in your area?
No, so my mindset was always the complete opposite. I was always, how can I create enough leverage so I can go on vacation whenever I want, so I can do whatever I want, wherever I want, whenever I want, with whoever I want, right? So that's always been something that I've been focused on. So, and I was blessed enough to be able to, coach high school baseball and donate a lot of time to my community at the time, being the vice president of the local baseball league and running multiple teams and stuff like that. that to me, I always kind of say I work hard but play harder, right? That's always kind of been my philosophy. Work hard so that you can play even harder.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I love to work. I like when I work, I'm focused, I'm strategic, I do my thing, I bust my ass, I go home and I I work so I can have a life. I don't live to work. A lot of people, a lot of employers think that's how they think. All their employees are supposed to live to work. No, 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 no.
Yeah,
I do my job, and I get out, and I go home, and I'm now with my family doing what I want to do.
yeah.
That's what I. That's the mindset that everyone should have. It's great to make all this money, but what are you going to do with all this money when you're never around?
If you're not around and you're not enjoying it, like what's the point, right? You can't take it with you when you go, right? Everything that you accumulate while you're here, when you go, you can't take it with you. And and really, like your kids, if you did a good job raising them, they don't need what you're going to leave them because
Yep.
they're going to have their own business or their own successful life already by the time you go, right? I'm sure they could use it and they would appreciate it, but they're not really going to need it, right? If
Right.
you raise them right and they're doing the right things. Maybe your grandkids, I mean, there's the old saying, right? Good times create weak men, hard times create strong men, right?
Right.
So
Love that.
I was always careful too with my kids not to spoil them, even though they never wanted for nothing, and they didn't hear no very often. I would make them work for it.
Right. And I
And I
think that's
wouldn't just give them
important. The parents today are all about being friendly with their kids instead of actually
a
teaching them
100%.
life skills. Like going back to coaching, no matter what you coach, it could be a business coach, it could be it could be a sports coach. You're not really coaching the whatever that is. You're coaching to make someone better than they are from yesterday. So that's important to continue that mindset for sure. And I want to leave some time. I want you to talk about this this debit card thing, this with the Z Bucks and all that. I want you to go into some detail for those that are watching, and so they can learn what that is all about.
Yeah, so that's cool. So like just like my mindset is always, how can I bring as much positive impact to the world and the people that I touch as humanly possible, right? So when I'm doing real estate stuff, that's really only the real estate people or people that are into real estate, right? If I'm doing something with like health, you know what I mean? Like I still take this stuff, but that's only for people that are really into their health. This debit card Z-Bucks thing, like this is going to be able to help so many people. Really, everybody I know uses a debit card, to buy stuff. Um, and most debit cards don't give you any kind of reward at all for using the card. And this particular card literally gives you 100% match. So if you fill your gas tank for $50, you're going to get 50 Z-Bucks to go spend in this online store that is set up a lot like Amazon, where there's going to be millions of products, including vacations and cruises and airline tickets and stuff, to be able to use those Z-Bucks to stretch your dollars further. So it's awesome. It really is. And they're not actually officially launching until November is the official launch. They're doing a big event in Vegas. But it's really something that I'm excited about. And I had a business associate of mine that's been after me for like 6 months, and I've had so many other things going on. It's not that I was ignoring it. I just didn't really even have the time to look at it. And then finally, when I looked at it and I saw what it was like, oh my gosh, I get it now. So I immediately was like, all right, I gotta get involved in this because it's just going to help so many people, especially now the way the economy is, and there's a lot of people out there struggling. And if you can take your dollars and literally double the spending power of your dollar, like it's just, I don't know anybody that doesn't want that.
And we have information in the description for those that are watching and those on a replay. Definitely don't forget to take a look at that. I want to end, and I definitely appreciate all this value that we're providing for everyone that's here today, and those that are catching this on the replay. How can we help those that are in their 9 to 5? And they want to make extra money. I think having a side hustle is a powerful thing. What are some things that people should be focused on and allowing them to make that happen?
So definitely side hustles, right? So when I started in real estate, right, it was a side hustle. I was still working full time for the first year until I transitioned, right? But I think I think one of the keys in life to being happy, right? I'm all about being happy and being filled with love, and that at the end of the day comes from inside. A lot of people look for that stuff outside, and going through the things I've gone through, what I've learned is that comes from in here.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think it's extremely important to do something that you love every day. So, and if you can figure out a way to make money doing the things that you love, well, then that's the key to happiness. Because when I go to work every day, it doesn't feel like work, right? It's a lifestyle. Like I call it lifestyle by design, right?
Mm-hmm.
I help people build a lifestyle by design. Whatever that design is for you, whatever those things are that you love and that you're passionate about, I guarantee you there's a way that you can monetize that. You just have to get with the right mentors that can help you, figure that out and maybe and unpack that.
I like that lifestyle by design. Yeah, because you can have a 9 to 5, you can have your normal job, and you can have side hustles. You can have different funnels that you're getting income from. If one dries up, you have one coming in, or you might have a great month because all your funnels are crushing it. You could be involved with health and fitness type of stuff, coaching, multi-level marketing, network marketing, affiliate marketing, whatever's out there, and they all work. A lot of people have some comments about different things like multi-level marketing and it's a pyramid scheme. Everything out there in the world, if you are 9 to 5, you're in a pyramid scheme because the top is always making all the money and all the workers are making that money for that top. So they have to change their mindset, because as long as you're in the right ones and how the pay structure is set up, they could be very powerful for you, but people don't want to listen. They want to look for the next shiny object. And that's where you're not going to be successful in reality, because you're always chasing something. Make yourself happy, like Kevin said. I agree the same way. Make yourself happy, do what you want to do, and enjoy life. That's a powerful way to live. So I want to thank you so much for being with us, Kev. And those that are popping in right now, you're going to have to wait until this uploads and catch it from the beginning. Don't forget, guys, take a look at the description. Look at all the things that Kevin offers. Some of the things I put in the description as well for those that are friends with Kevin. Take a look at what I do. And then also, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and hit the share button. We want to help as many people as possible. Thanks again, Kev, for being with us. Stick around for one moment, and we wish that everyone has an awesome rest of your day.
Yeah, man. Appreciate the opportunity.